It's time for a RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 2 recap. Oh, I can't do it.
Bring back my All-Stars.
So let's get down to business. It's the season premiere of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 5. I mean, All-Stars 2. And we have 10 All-Stars from the previous season of RuPaul's Drag Race here to compete. We have from Season 4, Fifi O'Hara. From Season 5, Alaska, Roxy, Detox, Coco, Alyssa. We have from Season 6, Adore Delano. Season 7, Katya and Ginger Minj. And am I missing someone? Oh, Season 2, Tatiana. So like every season, it started out with the girls entering the workroom. Now, every week when I do these recaps, I'm going to do something called Xana-Do and Xana-Don't. I know what you're going to say, this has been said on RuPaul's Drag Race, but I think Tudor Boots is way too controversial to try to use, so I'm going to go with Xana-Do, Xana-Don't. Kind of like that idea. So, based on the entrances in the workroom and the outfits they wore, my Xana-Do of the week, Roxy Andrews. She was giving me some working girl 1980s realness. Absolutely loved it. That deep plunging black neckline. Loved the trim on the cut. Absolutely fantastic. My Xana-Don't of the week, Coco Montrese. What's with that hat, girl? I'm sure you don't look as orange as you once did. Show off that gorgeous face of yours. You look like Janet Jackson was attending a funeral or something. I did love that Dorito mirror though. Very nice touch, Coco. So unlike the last season of All-Stars, it is no teams, which I think every single person in this world absolutely loves. And what's even better about this premiere is that the very first mini challenge was the best mini challenge that they do every season. It was reading is fundamental, the library is open. So, in my opinion, the best girls in this challenge were Fifi O'Hara, Katya, and Alaska. I thought it was absolutely hilarious when Fifi addressed Detox and said, Venus Delight. Yikes, that is not a reference you want to be in comparison to. So the winner of the Reading is Fundamental challenge was Alaska, which I absolutely agree with. And Alaska says she's a lot more grounded this season because she does not have her relationship with Sharon Needles to distract her. And Alaska is now no longer a member of Rolaskatox. She has gone Beyonce Knowles solo, and they are now Rotox. That sounds a lot like a watch line to me. Maybe they'll come up with a new drag watch line. I know, I'm so funny. So for the Maxi Challenge, I believe RuPaul still calls it that, they are doing a talent show where all 10 drag queens can show off their greatest talents and skills that they've managed to accomplish since being on Drag Race. And I think this is an awesome idea. I think that they should do this every season for the first challenge so we can kind of get a look at what we're getting into. So just a quick run through of all of them. Adore, she's saying Can't Love You. And I actually watched Adore sing this a couple months ago. And she is just a phenomenal performer. I absolutely love the performance, and I love the way she just works with the crowd. Next up was Alyssa Edwards, who had a RuPaul puppet, did some lip syncing, and then did her very famous Alyssa Edwards dancing. And like Adore, I saw Alyssa Edwards a few months back. Alyssa Edwards is still my absolute favorite. She is a phenomenal performer, and she is also the most down-to-earth sweetheart. Next up was Coco, who was doing a dance routine, no sort of lip syncing, nothing like that. She was wearing this really creepy, like, baby doll white gown, and just was not getting it whatsoever. Next up was Detox, who I absolutely love. She had this drum set, and she was banging on it, and glow paint was splashing everywhere, and then she started shaking her fake ass, and she was just fantastic. I loved the way she worked the stage. Her singing was great. It was like a nice gay underground 80s club. I absolutely loved it. Did I say I loved it? I think I did. Next performer was Ginger Minj. Girl, this is not The Voice. Come on. You know, singing, definitely something drag queens can do, but when you have a handful of them doing it, do something to make yourself stand out a little bit more. And then next up in the Miss America pageant is Katya doing gymnastics. I thought Katya was fantastic. She had her very famous raunchy moves and worked with an audience really well. Great job. Fifi O'Hara definitely took the biggest risk this week. Again, another singer, but she decided to do it a cappella. When she first said she was doing that, I actually thought that she was going to do a great job and the judges were going to praise her a lot. As it turns out, that pitch, whew, that was sharp. Roxy Andrews was next up, and she did a burlesque routine, and I was like, come on, Christina. She did a great job. Very sexy. Loved the way she worked with the crowd. Fantastic. Alaska was up next, and she did her very funny voice singing, and she did her very nice hand gestures, and she just worked with the crowd really, really well. It was very, very funny, like Alaska always is. I mean, it's Alaska. She really can't do no wrong. The last queen to go up was probably the queen that the girls all felt least threatened the most by, and it was Tatiana. And she did spoken word, and it was fantastic. First off, I think she stole Raven's wig. Secondly, I thought that she was very funny. I thought she worked with the crowd well. I remember in season 2, she was like scared to death of like singing in front of the audience, and I know spoken word's a little bit different, but still, she was fantastic. She looked so comfortable on that stage. So after the talent show, the girls went to the judging. We got to meet the new judge, Todrick Hall, and then the guest judge was Raven Simonier. I grew up watching That's So Raven, and I don't ever remember hearing her referred to as Raven Simonier. I don't know if that's a joke, like Raven Simonier, or if it's her actual last name. I'm going to have to look that up. So the judges started critiquing some of the girls, and I cannot believe how harsh they were on Adore. If you've watched my past YouTube videos, you know that Adore is my absolute #1 favorite queen on RuPaul's Drag Race, and I was so ecstatic to see her come back on the show. However, I was very disappointed by the fact that Michelle was just like clocking every single thing about her. She was like, I thought I'd hate your hair, but I like the hair, but everything else is just horrible. And you know, I appreciate the fact that Adore sticks to her brand. You know, she's not necessarily the queen that's gonna come out in the most glamorous, gorgeous outfits. Yeah, you love it when they come out in these amazing outfits. Like, think about Violet Chachki at the season 8 reunion. You know, that outfit is now iconic. But you know, when I go to a drag show, I go to watch the performers, and especially someone like Adore, who just thrives on performance and working with a crowd. I don't consider so much about what she wears. And so before picking the tops and the bottoms of the week, RuPaul reveals the new elimination format this season. And he tells the girls that each week, the top 2 queens will lip sync for their legacy, and the winner of that lip sync will decide which of the 3 bottom queens will go home. So the top 2 queens of the week were Tatiana and Roxy Andrews. My personal top 3 were Alyssa, Detox, and Tatiana. I thought that Roxy Andrews did a great job in her burlesque routine, but again, I just really love Alyssa as a performer, and I just thought she killed it. My bottom 3 were Fifi, Ginger, and Coco. The judges' bottom 3 were Fifi, and Adore, and Coco. So before going into the lip sync, Roxy decides to take each of the bottom three girls aside and pretty much ask them why they think they should stay. She's really nervous to eliminate Coco because they have a long history together. And when she spoke with Fifi, Fifi got really emotional about how she came here to prove that she's not a bitch, to prove that she's just not someone out to get all the other queens. And I can really appreciate that. A lot of these girls have managed to point out to themselves and for everyone else to hear the flaws that they had in their seasons. And I can really appreciate that, especially with Fifi, because she was, and probably still is, the biggest bitch that was on the show. And, you know, her drag in her season was not that good. You know, it's constantly a joke that she was just as orange as the fucking sun. And, you know, I've seen her drag evolve over the years, and I think she's developed such a strong fan base. You know, she does her 365 days of drag where she posts a picture every day on Facebook of a new drag look, and it's just fantastic. And I really want to see her stay around to see what she's capable of doing now. Adore got really emotional, saying she doesn't think she should be here. She got really upset about the fact that Bianca Del Rio supposedly picked this dress out for her, and Michelle Visage still hated it. And, you know, I feel for Adore because, again, I think she's sticking to her brand, and I don't think her look was as bad as the judges made it out to be. So then it was time for Tatiana and Roxy Andrews to do their lip sync, and they both lip sync to Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. And the winner of the lip sync gets $10,000 in cash, which I think is awesome. And Roxy Andrews was the winner of the lip sync. I actually thought they both did a really good job, so I think it would have been either one of them. So then it was up to Roxy Andrews to decide who should go home. And then to determine who should go home, they used a tube of lipstick with the bottom three queens' name on it. I really don't get the significance in that, but I guess that's just the way they want to do it. Like, I thought maybe they like hand it over to the eliminated queen and say, here's some lipstick for the road, bye girl. But I don't think that's what they're gonna do. So Roxy decided that of the bottom three, Coco Montrese should be going home. And I completely agree. I think most people that watch the show would probably agree. Coco doesn't have the biggest fan base, and out of all the girls coming back for All Stars, Coco was the one that I think a lot of people were like, really? Well, someone has to go home first. So after all the girls are doing their little dance and the credits start rolling, Coco's standing there doing her exit interview, and all of a sudden RuPaul comes up on the screen and he says, "Don't worry, Coco, you will have your chance to return and get vengeance." And of course Coco's like, "Oh, I'm coming back." And really, you're thinking, come on. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, CJ Rambler, so you can check out more Drag Race videos as well as my recaps of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 2. Thanks so much, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Bye!